All right, everyone, welcome to part two of the Bandit King. Last time, our adventurers made their way around the city of Lyalisk, getting in some trouble here and then, running into a few old friends, their friendly dragonborn, Aristraz, and the buff mama, Aslega, running her tavern.
A queen, some would say.
Yes. Our adventurers found out about a local gang that had started up in the underground and has been causing some trouble. They questioned around and found one of the gang members who had invited them to meet him after sundown at the docks. They ran around asking questions, gathering information as much as they could where the crimes had occurred. And now Sebastian, Pablo, and Garrick have found their way back to their home, where Pablo is preparing lasagna for all three of them, plus a couple dinner guests that are set to arrive here soon. The last we left them, Pablo speaking to their beautiful new greatsword, who gave them plenty of cooking recommendations for the lasagna. She donned an apron over it. Garrick checked in on the lasagna to see about how much longer it would be. Should be done soon. And Sebastian, you were going upstairs to get ready in your new dress attire for company. So we'll go off with Sebastian as Garrick and Pablo are speaking in the kitchen, talking about how Pablo is prepping the lasagna. Sebastian, you head out from the kitchen, cross the hallway up to the stairs that lead to your room and your nightly chambers.
We're not going to do the intro.
In a second.
Okay.
You make your way
Someone's
upstairs
here.
and close the door behind you. I'll have you lead off here in a moment, but everybody, grab an ale, prepare for a tale, for all are welcomed at the Banshee's Wail. All right, Pablo, Sebastian, you take your hat, your magic hat, as we've discussed, you lift it off of your head, you place it on, and as you put the hat back on, a small gold dot floats around you in a spiral, and you watch as your clothing changes to the idea of what you're looking to wear. Would you like to explain your dinner attire?
So Sebastian's just dressed to the nines. He loves dinner parties. He's wearing, it's a lot of dark blue and purple. He just looks fantastic. He loves hosting, and he just looks at himself in the mirror and is like, damn, you are so good looking. We're about to rock this shit. And just like kicks the door open and like tosses the cape back and is like, we gotta rock this shit. And just starts strutting down the hall.
All right. You've donned your new attire. Let me actually adjust your token to your new clothing. So you're wearing your new clothes. Is there anything else you would like to do before making your way back downstairs?
I'm gonna spray the strongest smelling cologne I have physically possible.
What is the scent?
Musky. With hints of lavender.
Ooh, yes. Maybe some lilac in there?
Yeah, why not? Spice it up. Pun
Some
intended.
gooseberry?
I
What's
see what you're
what's the
doing.
smell? Yes.
It's called seduction.
That
Number
fits even
8.
better.
Number 8.
All right, so you spray your cologne, you open the door. As you do, you see a cloud of light smoke exit the room with you from the cologne. The two of you underneath of him, directly, as the kitchen is just underneath of Sebastian's room, get a hint of the smell of the cologne that you're all too familiar with.
Oh, it seems that he's putting on his seducing attire tonight.
Mm.
All right. And I'm going to move you guys over to the battle map for your house so you can all see exactly how it's set up. So, Sebastian, you make your way back downstairs, donning your new dinner attire, smelling of musk and lavender.
What a combo.
Pablo, you have the lasagna in the fire. Should only need about 10 more minutes before it's fully done, as you're just looking to heat up the top a little, melt it a little more, maybe singe just a little bit, make it a little crispy on top.
There is 3 lasagnas in there.
3. Perfect. Just enough for you and your dinner guests. As you know, Dragonborn tend to eat a lot.
One's too spicy, one's just right, and one's not spicy at all.
Perfect. So, you have a few moments. Is there anything Pablo or Garrick would like to do to prepare?
Garrick's just kind of like frantically running around the house, like picking up little things that are left behind, and like little wrappers of like candies or trinkets or any like
Cleaning
things
up
that were
dust.
left out. Yeah, cleaning up dust, like sweeping it off like the rafters and stuff, wanting the house to look nice.
Bear dust.
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Oh, okay, roll something. Oh god. Oh god. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Perfect. Just enough. You frantically move about the entryway and the hallway between all the rooms. You dust off all of the statues that you have lined there, clean off the moose head hanging by the entryway, clean up the coats, shake them a little bit. Some dust puffs off, and you realize it's been a minute since you've had guests over.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you start sweeping by the stairs. As Sebastian walks down, you pass by him and you begin sweeping. And as you're sweeping, you hit something a little strong, and it slows the broom a little. And you see it's some male underwear that's tied in a knot.
Sebastian, what have I told you about leaving your underwear in the main rooms?
That tiefling must have took it with her as a trophy. It must have fell out of her purse.
Well,
if it was a trophy, why'd it get left?
It fell out of her purse. You're not here. You're cooking lasagna.
Pablo's leaning back, speaking from the doorway.
Well, can you pick it up, please, before dinner starts? This cannot be here.
I suppose. And I walk over and pick up my underwear.
You pick up the underwear, take your hat off, and drop it into the hat as it melds and teleports with all of the clothing you have in there for quick changes.
Oh, yes, that was number 7. Not potent enough. That's we have to bump it up to number 8.
As you see, he takes out a small spray bottle and sprays it inside of the hat.
Are you going to really attempt to mate with the maiden again after she arm wrestled you for the 100th time and you lost?
It was 80, now 81, my dear friend. But yes, I might seduce the maiden if she comes again. I'm feeling my finest.
If on the day that happens, I'll throw a parade in the streets for you in the town.
I hold out a document with a pen. Sign now. Just pulls it right out of the hat.
Fine. I read over the document, the agreement, make sure there's nothing in the fine print that I'll regret.
With blood, by the way. Have to make it binding.
Do I see anything regretful, DM? In this
You start reading
document?
through the contract. You question why it's written from common to dwarven to elf.
How much were you drinking when you wrote this?
Only 3 beers.
You switched languages 3 times.
I'm that proficient. My mouth is a wonder.
The only thing I can't read is the Dwarvish. What does it say?
I'm not a dwarf. I can't say.
Then how did you write it?
You recognize the penmanship from the secretary wizard at the portal tower.
Did you? There's no way.
I'm very persuasive when I need to be.
I'm not signing that. I just kind of continue back with cleaning.
Coward! I want my parade.
You, as he shouts this, Garrick, you're standing there still holding the broom and dustpan, which is full right now, and you hear a knock at the front door.
Oh no! Oh dear! Oh dear! Okay, Sebastian, get you. I hate to do this to you because I don't trust you. But get the door. As I like frantically run to the trash can and dump out the dustpan.
I will skip to the door.
You run into the kitchen, and under the table, just in the entryway, there's a trash can, and you begin dumping it in there. As Sebastian goes to the front door and opens it, to see a familiar face, the dragonborn merchant, Aristraz. Ah, good to see you, friend. It's been a while.
It's been less than a day. I'm not interested in you. Go, get your lasagna.
It's a pleasure to see you too, Sebastian. I see you have some conquest today. He looks over his shoulder back at you.
Do you not smell that? That's number 8. I'm trying to beat a record tonight.
I smell it every week as you pass by. He holds something just over his shoulder, a small vial, as he shakes it over. But I brought a gift.
For me?
He turns around quickly. For you. He holds the vial up, and you can see it. It's a light blue in color. You can see something floating around in the vial. I heard that there would be another dinner guest tonight, and I thought you might need this.
Is this the legendary blue steel?
I have no idea what you're talking about. But this should give you a little oomph if you decide to challenge a certain somebody today.
Can I roll an investigation check to see what it is?
You take the vial from Aristraz, and you hold it up to the light, and you shake it around a little. It's light blue in color, mostly see-through. You can see some stuff swirling around in there, and a little hard object at the bottom, which looks like either
Steel?
stone or wood in like a crescent moon shape.
So this isn't the fabled blue steel.
No. But this should give you, he holds up his arms, a little extra.
I didn't know merchants worked out. Those are quite ample biceps, my man. I might have to take your gym routine down.
Ah, must fend off the beggars.
I thought it was that big ass sword.
How has Pablo been adjusting to that thing?
Quite good. I think it has an apron now, and making lasagna. I think it's living the high life.
He blinks his eyes rapidly. Ah, good. I'm glad it was a good purchase.
So upon hearing this conversation, like hearing the faint conversation at the front door, Garrick is like speedily like grabbing a bottle of wine, like laying glasses out and like trying to, get good pours of wine going.
I see this.
Well,
Like, it's only the first guest. Calm down. We have much more to come.
You watch Garrett
I know,
frantically.
that's the worry. We have to be prepared.
He stresses too much. But hopefully we have some things to take the edge off for him.
Oh,
But
plenty.
he taps you on the shoulder with his scaly hand. Best of luck tonight.
I've got number 8. I don't need luck. And now the legendary blue steel.
Yes, because that has worked magic before. As Aristras, but I smell lasagna. And he begins walking toward the kitchen.
So as like Aristras enters, Garrick holds out a glass of wine to him and says, "I poured your favorite this time, the prosecco that you really enjoyed last time."
Ooh, aged 100 years.
Actually, I found the other one, the 120-year bottle.
That was only limited to 30 bottles total.
And you get to have a fine swig, my friend.
He takes the glass from you. He moves slightly as you have a little table at the corner, sets it down for a moment. Well, generosity greets generosity. I brought some dinner favors for you and your gang. He holds out a pouch. You can hear a little clanking around. I know you're going to raid that bandit's hideout. You look inside, and inside are 3 greater healing potions. I thought these might come in handy.
Wonderful, my friend. You never disappoint.
It's always scary when the DM gifts you health potions.
Yeah, right.
It makes you worry.
You have 1 healer. 1 person.
It makes you think to yourself, how quickly am I about to die?
Yep.
He leans closer to Garrick. Also, like we said, we never speak of that again. And he taps you on the chest.
Done deal.
He picks up the wine glass again and takes a swig. Ah, excellent. I will wait in the lounge. As he's familiar enough with your house and begins making his way there.
Have a wonderful seat, my friend. And they look over to Pablo. Pablo, how is lasagna coming?
Just a few more minutes, and he like grabs the sword and tilts the sword down to look at the oven.
Is the sword going to tell you how much time is left?
Almost ready.
It's almost ready. He puts the sword back.
I don't even want. You know what? Fine, I believe you. I believe you. Garrett continues to set the table.
This sword is my new best friend.
You know, Pablo, we could do so much more than burning lasagna.
I mean, there's always a Bandit King later. He just opens.
Deal.
He just opens the oven and takes out the lasagnas.
Are they burnt?
They're just below, I think.
Just a little crunch to the top, you know? Everyone likes little.
Especially the
cheese.
edges.
Yes.
I like a good crunch when I eat my food.
The sword knows. The sword knows.
The sword knows.
Sebastian, you turn the corner and walk up to Garrick, holding out your hand, expecting some wine as well.
I know you don't like wine. I got your meat already. Don't get your boxers in a twist. And he
You
grabs
already
the-
threw those at me. Why do you shame me?
And he hands him over a mead, and he says to him, "I even got you a good one this time.
What is it?
This is Yellow Frolic 26."
I hold up the blue steel, be like, but it's not blue steel.
Pablo's
If you-
just gonna come over, take a bunch of berries, and squish it into the mead to make it blue, and then walk away.
Thanks, Pablo.
You're the best, Pablo. I sip the mead.
I would take it out now.
It's already out. He like tilts the sword over and then puts it back.
You must stop putting me in the corner.
Baby?
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
He just like slightly moves him out of the corner next to the oven.
Roll me an athletics check.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You pick up the sword and put him in front of the oven, right next to the table with the lasagna on it. It smells lovely.
Thank you.
And Garrick and Sebastian standing in the hallway, you hear another knock at the door.
Do you want me to
Coming.
get that one as well?
I'll grab it. Everything's set.
I push him down to go answer the door.
As Garrick falls to the floor, he's like, "What the hell?"
This is my job. Go clean something else.
Garrick, you're on the floor. Sebastian, you begin walking really quickly to the door.
Pablo's just gonna tilt aside. Hey, Garrick, did you put the hot pads down?
Oh my god! He sprints into the, bounces off the floor and goes to get the hot pads.
You go to get the hot pads, so you go into the dining room and open the cabinet where everything is found to prepare the table.
Oh,
Sebastian.
oh god! Thank God they're clean. Oh, this is a nightmare.
Sebastian, you walk to the front door and open it. You see a familiar face. It's Uslega, but her hair is done up very nicely. She's wearing hoop earrings and a fine purple dress that match her
Shoddy.
lipstick.
I kneel down to the ground, grab her hand, and kiss it. My queen! My arm wrestling queen. 81 fails I have tried, but I will try to win your heart tonight.
She lets you kiss her hand and then pulls it away. We shall see.
Cruel, but yet I love it. A heart I can't obtain.
She puts her hand on your chest and easily moves you so she can walk through the doorway.
Pablo's gonna come around the corner with the wine glass and be like, eh.
Yeah, there's wine down the hall. It's very good.
She begins walking toward Pablo fairly quickly. You can hear the clacking of her heels on your floor. Thank you, Pablo.
Lasagna just came out. Should be good to eat soon. Salad?
To start, yes. We must watch our figure.
So from the kitchen, everyone just hears Garrick just, "Oh, how'd I forget?" And you just hear him rapidly, like a knife cutting on a cutting board, cutting cheese up as like a little charcuterie board.
You sprint around, almost bumping into Pablo, run into the kitchen and start cutting up the cheese. Is he going to be okay?
Just fine. Probably forgot cheese.
To die for. I will wait in
Got
the
good
lounge.
cheese this time.
Is he cutting the cheese again?
As a symphony just just echoes out from the kitchen.
She moves on and sees Estraz sitting on one of the couches. She begins starting up a conversation with him. Is there anything the three of you would like to do to prep?
Gonna start bringing the food out. Well, I'll get putting the salad and like bread out first.
I bring the little charcuterie board out to the guests in the waiting area to give them some snacks before we actually start eating.
So Garrick, you bring the charcuterie board, the cheese, out to the guest. You've also cut up some nice summer sausage to go with it, and some fine buttery crackers.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy it. It's a delight. Pablo, you go into the dining room. Roll me a performance check. You lay out a fine cloth down the middle of the table, set all of the dishes, You set salads with the correct forks next to them at everybody's seat. You set up a nice bouquet in the middle of the table. And you politely voice out, yelling that everything is ready.
Soup's
You all
on.
They all understand. And the three of you, or at least Garrick and Sebastian, always fight for the head of the table. Are you
I feel
going
like
to
they
let
should roll.
one another? Are you going to let one of the others take it this night? Or are you going to challenge each other for it?
So
I have to look
Garrick,
good for my queen.
so Garrick, knowing how important this night is to Sebastian, he puts up a struggle, if you will, but allows his friend to more than easily push him out of the way for the chair.
The two of you quickly make your way to the dining room. Shoulder to shoulder, you don't fit in the hallway, and you bump into each other through the way. Garrick, you allow Sebastian to shove you out of the way. Sebastian, roll me a perception check. Garrick, what is your deception modifier?
9.
Sebastian, you think that you just shoved Garrick out of the way.
This is important to me.
Oh, I've been defeated so handedly by such a strong and strapping man.
I'm twice your size. Calm down.
I look at him, and as we're about the same height, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
You just hear Pablo chuckling to himself about these two.
You also hear the sword chuckling a little as well. The two of you sit down at your respective seats at the table. Ustlega comes in and takes the seat next to Sebastian.
Perfect.
And next to her sits Aristraz, across from Garrick.
We're still missing someone. It's the guy that
I
was
know.
forging. Okay, I was like, we're missing a friend.
Pablo, you have the dishes dished up and ready to go, and you remember you have another guest that should be attending.
I go and find Garrick. I'm like, my friend, he's not here yet.
Which friend?
The forger.
The one that runs the little shop not too far from here?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you invite him?
He helped me with my sword.
Oh. Well, all right. I mean, did you tell him the right time and place? I mean, we're not great friends with him.
Yes.
I mean, I'll go check out the window, I guess, and see.
Thanks.
Sebastian's not paying attention. He's trying to play footsie with his queen. Does not care about anything. He is trying to play footsie right now.
Roll me a performance check.
Oh, thank God.
He said, "Thank God."
You take your foot out of your boot and rub it down the front of her leg, down to her foot. And she turns away from you and begins talking to Aristraz, but lets you do it.
It takes time to serenade. This conquest will be mine. My
Pablo,
legs are stronger than my arms.
Pablo, Garrick said he would go check out the window for your friend, the blacksmith. So you go back to the kitchen and finalize everything to prepare the lasagna for presentation. Garrick, you step out to the door and peek out over to where the blacksmith is down the way a little ways, but you can see the shop. You can see what would normally be hanging for his open sign is flipped close, but you don't see any movement around. And you can see into his windows a bit, and you don't see any light.
That's strange. I'll be back in a moment. He calls out to the rest of the room.
Be back quick. Stay safe.
Why do you
Alright,
let
Garrett.
him go alone? Why can't I go alone anywhere?
Because you get one shot and disappear.
I beat him up the mountain for our race.
And then, so as Garrick slips out the door, I'd like to like be as sneaky and like inconspicuous as possible.
Yeah, you throw your hood up and kind of stay to the side of the buildings, making your way down to the shop.
Making my way downtown, looking for a blacksmith sword.
You're walking fast.
And I need him for Pablo's dinner. If he would show. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Continue on, please. You you walk fast to the blacksmith shop. You turn around and take a peek back at the house. So you're homebound. You continue on, and you look into his window. The curtains are drawn shut, so you can't see anything. You make your way to the door and try the handle. It's unlocked. You open it, and no one is there. You're familiar with inside of his house to his shop. He has a counter for when he's not out foraging, where he sells his wares. There's a couple of rooms further into the house, down the hall. But everything seems as it would be.
Mm-hmm.
So you enter in on the far right, or on the right side, leads to the counter, and you see armor hung up on the wall. To the left, you see a couple barrels with plain swords. On the wall, hanging vertically down, are fine swords on stands.
Mm-hmm.
Further down, past the counter, is a small hall that branches out into two doors.
Do I notice anything on the floor, like footsteps, dirt, trackings, anything like that?
Let me see. Roll me an investigation. There's usually a bit of traffic through the shop during the day, but you notice some footsteps kind of sliding about, and some muck on a couple of the boot prints that have come through.
Are they sliding out the door, or are they sliding back towards that hallway with the two doors you mentioned?
It's actually sliding to the counter.
All right, so I walk over to the counter to take a look at it to see if I can't, pick up on anything there.
You walk up to the counter, and you notice near the corner, there's actually an indent in the counter that wasn't there, and the wood going down has cracked.
This is not good. Does it lead to any other clues or like inclinations of where they would have gone, or does it just kind of the trail kind of stop there?
You look about. You kind of go around the counter to look at everything. Some of the things that were on the counter, where he keeps a few of the smaller objects, have actually been knocked off. So you can tell whatever hit the counter hit with a large force, enough to shake the whole thing. From there, you can't really tell too much more.
So what I'll do is I want to walk to where the little hallway starts and those two doors. You said there's two doors, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to take my dagger and like stick it into the wall and try to like feel for vibrations.
Take it. You go into the entryway to the hallway, stick your dagger in. You don't feel any vibrations, and with that, you don't hear anything, breathing, talking, or anything from either of the rooms.
Okay. All right. So at this point, Garrick is quite concerned for the forge's health and safety, so he makes his way quickly back towards the house.
All right. So you're actually homebound now, making your way back. So a few minutes have passed there. Sebastian, you're playing footsies with Ustlega. You've stopped, put your boot back
She likes
on.
playing footsie, or she's allowing it. Don't skim that. She's at least semi enjoying it.
Everyone knows. Don't worry. Everyone knows. And she has begun to eat her salad, so you are letting her without any distraction, as a polite gentleman. Pablo, you have dished everything up. You have everything on a nice display board to bring out.
No friend, as he like picks up and brings it.
There looks like there might have been some trouble.
You're
We
not
must-
back yet.
Oh, I thought you were just asking me. Sorry.
So Pablo, you question that as you lift the tray and walk back out to the dining room. You dish up for Sebastian, Ustlega, Aristraz, yourself, and you lay out 2 more plates, one for Garrick and one for your friend. You
And don't forget
hear.
the plate for my sword.
I was gonna say, you hear in the back of your head, "Don't leave me here," but only
Would
you hear
never.
it. You put the last plate for your sword down at the other end of the table.
Then just go in and start dragging him out and put him like next to the chair so he's leaning nice. I take off his apron and I put a little scarf on him.
I preferred the apron personally.
Is the sword eating dinner with us?
You don't leave friends out.
He's classy.
Oh, yes, of course. Can you possibly tell me what is the sword?
He's a fire sword. He's my friend.
He puts his hand on the table. For a friend, just want to double check. He looks over at it and back at you. Are you sure it's a friend?
Yes. He cooks with
Yes.
me. You see Pablo perk up and like super happy, like friendship confirmed.
Pablo begins smiling. Garrick, you are entering into the dining room, and you hear the bit of that conversation as you get back about Pablo talking about friends.
Pablo, Sebastian, could I borrow you 2 for just a moment in the foyer?
I suppose.
Pablo gets up, pats his sword, and then follows.
Didn't even
Don't be
eat my
long.
lasagna yet. I'm disappointed, but I suppose.
Is everything fine?
Everything is a-okay. Thank you for your concern. We'll just small house matter.
All right. She begins cutting her lasagna.
So as we make it into the foyer, in a low, like very hushed tone, I let them know the forge wasn't there, and it seems like there was a struggle.
Someone took friend?
Potentially, I haven't confirmed yet, but as soon as I saw the sign of a struggle, I thought it might be best to come grab you 2.
I'm eating lasagna. I brought my tray with me. I'm eating lasagna, listening to.
Well, what do you know?
There was some shuffled footprints at the front of the shop, a big dent looks like a heavy weapon might have been swung against the table, and no forge, and things scattered. Nothing was stolen, though.
Mm.
But we should definitely go back and do a more thorough check through. I just didn't feel good being alone out there.
But we have guests.
And I know, we'll have to reschedule.
But lasagna, it's on the
We-
table.
Sebastian, there's a man's life at stake. The food can wait.
But what about our guests?
You can try to court your fair maiden later.
Sebastian, as you yell out, "What about your guests?" You kind of turn with it, and you can hear the clinking of the small vial in your pocket.
Simmer down, Blue Steel. Now is not the time. I can't turn left.
All right, so Garrick heads into the dining room, and is Uslega, and what was the guy's name?
Aristraz.
Aristraz, Uslega. I'm so sorry to cut this short, but some matters have come up that we need to attend to. We think it's best that you two might venture home.
Pablo is just gonna hush Garrick real quick and then go up to Uslega and hand her his key to the house and be like, "Enjoy your meal. Be back later."
So, as Garrick is saying this, kind of in the entryway to the dining room, he's speaking while next to the door. The two of them just see a big paw reach over and grab Garrick, like covering his mouth, and drag him back. As Pablo steps forward and gives them the key and tells them to enjoy their meal. Oh. Is there anything we could help with, though?
Enjoy yourselves. Have as much lasagna as you want.
Yes, Uslega. Let us enjoy. Never turn down a free meal. Trust me. Ones this good come rare.
And as that happens, Garrick peels Pablo's hand off, and he says, "Just, tread lightly on your way home, please."
I wink at my queen. That's an all-access key.
Oh my god.
If you want to be safe, you can stay in my room.
My room's better. Number 8. Let's go.
I think the
Aristraz-
lounge couches are perfectly fine.
And Aristraz, if you get bored, I have new books in the library if you wish to read.
Sebastian goes into a deep depression.
Yes, I will take
Pablo's
you
good.
up on that.
Pablo's gonna go and grab the sword.
You move back, you move to the chair, grab the sword, pick it up, and go back to the kitchen and begin putting everything away before you leave.
And explaining the situation to the sword.
But the lasagna.
Pablo goes out, grabs a slice, tries and shoves it into the sword.
You slap the lasagna on the sword and kind of smear it on the side as you see it slowly just dissolve into the blade.
I can feed it.
Garrick just kind of looks at those two and just confused me. I don't even. You know what? I've done trying to understand this whole sword thing.
Sebastian's in
walks
the
back out
corner
of the
doing
room.
push-ups, trying to get buff.
So, Garrick, you turned into the corner of the kitchen, saw all of that, turned around to leave, and you look off to the corner near the door to the lounge. You just see Sebastian on the floor doing push-ups.
How have we ever, and I mean ever, helped or saved this city? Even one time. I don't know. We must be the luckiest trio that's
It's
ever
called bear
existed.
powder. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
I flex, sweat glistening, muscles.
Before
two will be the
Pablo
death of
leaves,
me.
he's gonna go to Aristal. Aristal? I'm saying that name wrong. And be like, got any bear powder?
Aristraz. And he looks back at you. Ah, I left it in the usual spot. The statue near the door.
Thanks.
We about to party.
And as you prepare to leave, you've begun gathering everything. You begin to, let me see, Garrick, being the closest to the door, you get a faint hint of smoke, a smell of smoke.
I go peek out the window or the door.
That's number 6, by the way. Smokey's number 6.
Of which door?
Just that same front door where I was at earlier.
You take a peek around the door. You move your token just around.
Yeah. Oh, it's on. Oh.
And you see the barrels that you stack to take off to fill in the entryway have caught ablaze. Both are burnt. Both sets are burning.
Pablo, Sebastian, buckets of water now.
Pablo runs to the kitchen and grabs the mop bucket.
I just run around frantically, like knowing what a bucket of water is.
You roll me a D4, Sebastian.
Let me go find that real quick.
You can type /roll d4.
Or on the bar on the left-hand side, it's usually the bottom. It looks like a D20.
Just above the question mark. Below the
Okay.
ruler.
Okay, let's all not pick on me right now. All right, there we go. Okay. D4?
Yes, a D4. You follow Pablo, knowing Pablo knows where the bucket of water is. The two of you run to the door of the kitchen. Pablo first. And as you do, you hear glass break. And you see on the floor on the far end of the kitchen, the table and barrels that you keep there have also been lit on fire.
Are they burning down the house?
Pablo, being in front, roll me a perception check. As you enter in and you see the fire, you look quickly at the window and you see what looks like a cloak kind of flutter out of vision in the window, running to looking in the window, running to the left.
Pablo's gonna grab Sebastian, grab him, point at the water bucket, and be like, "Water," and then dart after him. Dart after the cloak.
All right. Which way are you going in the house?
Which doorway did I see him go through?
So he didn't go through a doorway. It was the window outside from the kitchen, and
Okay.
he was running, in retrospect, east.
I don't know how that helps me. Towards the front door or
This way.
towards the other? That way?
But he was
I'm-
outside, so you saw it
Okay.
through the window.
So I'm gonna go through the lounge.
As you know, that there's a balcony through the lounge. You run to the lounge. Sebastian, you see where Pablo points under the table near where the food storage is. There's a couple metal buckets, 3 of them, and they're filled with water.
I grabbed 2 of them.
All right. Garrick, while this is happening, what are you doing exactly?
I take a step out the front door to see if I can't see anything like out in the alleyway or out in the streets. So I'll step like.
You take a step out, and you look down. Do you go north or south first?
I'll take a look to the south where the south where the barrels were on fire.
So you look around, and you see some shattered glass just around the corner, laying on the floor.
Molotovs. Bastards.
You don't see anyone as you look down, though.
Okay, so I'll circle back around towards the north and see if I can't find anything that way.
And as you begin passing that way, you see Sebastian as you pass by the door, and yells for you, saying that he has 2 buckets of water.
Okay, I run back to grab one of the buckets and help with getting the fire out.
All right, the 2 of you take the buckets of water and dump them over the fire, taking a moment to douse those flames. Pablo, you go through the lounge and enter onto the balcony, or the not balcony,
Patio.
the patio. Thank you. And you saw the person running east. What do you do?
I'm gonna go east and go over the little barrier and try and catch him.
So you hop over the small fence around your patio and begin running. As you run around the corner, you hear more glass break, and you see a hooded figure. There. I'll use this one. You see a hooded figure run from the window right here. And you heard more glass break, and you hear Uslega and Aristras begin shouting from inside.
I am going to just run full speed at the freaking cloaked person and attempt to tackle, if possible.
Okay. See. You run toward him. He's very nimble and quick. He begins running down the alleyway in between some of the houses. He's a little ahead of you, and you can tell he's moving just a little faster than you.
Did we hear the shouts from
Hi.
inside the house?
You 2 did, yes. As you're finishing dousing the flames with the water buckets in the entryway.
All right, so I'll dart back inside to see what's going on.
I follow him.
I would like to throw a javelin at him.
Roll me the attack.
Is there a specific thing I have to roll for throwing? Or
No, you just roll it. Yeah. Ooh, you throw your javelin at the hooded man. You see it stab into the cloak and fall to the ground after making contact. He continues to run as if unaffected.
No, what the fuck? He's armor or something underneath. Fuck.
You run to catch up, and you look at the javelin. The tip of the javelin has actually bent slightly.
Okay. trying to think of what I can do.
As you're sitting there, kind of looking about, you're watching as the hooded figure is running further away from you, and you're hearing the shouts from your house behind you. You take a second, you glance back, and you can see some smoke coming out of the dining room window.
Do I want to catch the guy that took my friend, or do my friends have it under control?
And I think right now, while you make that decision, is a good place to take a quick 5-minute break.
Oh, God.
So we'll take 5, and we'll be right back. All right. Needed a couple extra moments there, so thank you guys for waiting. We're going to hop straight back into the action. Pablo, you threw your javelin, which stabbed into the figure, dented and fell to the floor. You're making a last-minute decision here, but we're going to go back over to Sebastian and Garrick. You've doused the flames over the barrels in your entryway. They're completely singed, and you don't think you'll be able to use those barrels again. You heard some yelling and screaming back into the house, and as you run back in, Sebastian, you also remember there was a fire in the kitchen, and only one more water bucket.
Is the lasagna burning?
You remember the table and barrels in the kitchen were lit aflame.
So
What do you two do?
I'm running back in the house to assess the situation.
All right. So Garrick, you sprint ahead of Sebastian, and you kind of step into the in between the two hallways, south leading down to the kitchen. You can see a large fire spreading at the southern end of the kitchen by the window. You can see some smoke just leaving the dining room area. You run forward a little bit to see, and you can see both Aristraz and Uslega step back to the far end of the room, watching the fire. They're kind of bantering between each other as Uslega is telling Aristraz to do something, and Aristraz is telling Uslega to do something.
Do I know where the bucket of water is, that last one?
You do not.
Okay. You two, follow me, and I usher them towards the front door.
Aristraz turns toward you. Yes, let's follow him. And they both begin following you.
Do I know where the bucket of water is?
You brought the other two. You remember that they're under the table in the kitchen. There's one more bucket left.
And it's in the kitchen.
Yes.
I heroically run towards the kitchen.
Garrick, you begin leading Aristraz and Uslega out of the dining
right
room.
Out that window, aren't I?
Sebastian, run. Yes, you're just outside the window. Sebastian, you run into the kitchen. And we will pause there. Pablo, so you're standing near the alleyway. You see the perpetrator running further down. You're standing next to the javelin that had clanked down to the floor with the bent tip. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go back and break through that window and then pull the drapes down and throw it over the table.
All right. You run back, leap through the window. You easily break through it and hop onto your feet on the other side. You grab the drapes to pull them over, and you hear from your sword, "Put me in the flame."
He does it. He just flips it into the flame.
You, with your body weight, flip the sword over your back and slam it onto the table in the fire. As you see the fire begin to arc and pour into the blade of the sword, as it slowly just basically, it looks like it inhales the fire.
Pablo's gonna pick up the sword and start finding other fires.
As you're doing that, Sebastian, you're in the kitchen. The fire has grown much larger since you were in there. You don't know if one bucket of water is going to deal with it. You know the bucket of water is under the table, just right here, as the fire is raging in the bottom of the room.
What can I do? I'm going to slide and try to kick the bucket of water up and douse some fire.
for that, roll me dousing flames. Roll me a survival check.
Survival, you would do survival.
I would do survival. You're dousing flames to survive.
Oh!
You put the bucket on the floor, slide with a spinning under kick, kicking the bucket up. You spin with your other foot and shatter the bucket as water pours over the flames like a nice rain and douses it.
Number 8, baby. Number 8.
You can see smoke barreling out the window as the flames die down. The barrels in the kitchen are completely burnt. Pablo, you run to the door of the kitchen as you see the flames are doused in there, and Sebastian standing in the middle of the room with his arms up in victory.
It took you that long?
Pablo says to Sebastian.
Perfection takes time, my dear. Water cascading down his beautiful clothing. It's nice and
Perfection
tight, by the
isn't
way.
important when you're trying to save a house.
I've put out multiple fires. What have you done?
Chase down a guy and put out a fire.
I put out 3 fires now. And I saved your kitchen for your precious
3.
sword.
We only had 2 buckets, liar. And then he takes off.
Pablo begins walking away from Sebastian to the front door. Garrick, you've taken both of them outside. And Aristraz looks at you and says, "It's not the worst dinner party I've been to."
You know, honestly, this kind of reminds me of that one time we had the infestation of kobolds.
Ah, yes. And we used Sebastian as bait. They lit him on fire. Great
The one
time.
thing he's good for.
Oof, he lost his good pants that day, though. He was in quite a tizzy for a few days.
I was wondering why he's never worn those since. Makes
You know,
sense.
It got a flame up the seam and just kind of ruined him. There was no really fixing him.
Hopefully it didn't cause too much damage. As he nudges you with his elbow.
I don't think it did.
Uslega holds her hand up to her mouth as she laughs a little.
So after that little exchange, Garrick's just kind of scanning around the area, trying to see if there's anything I could pick up or any, unsightly fellows or maidens.
You tell the two of them to wait a moment outside. You run back down and investigate the broken glass there. You can get the strong smell of alcohol on the glass. And as you're walking down, Pablo, you make your way through the doorway and outside as well. You see Garrick going south toward where you saw the arsonist running away.
He's gonna yell out to Garrick, be like, "Come back."
Why? What happened?
Try to throw a javelin. Bent the tip.
Interesting.
Went south. Or east. That would be east, yeah?
Yes.
Well, we've never been one to run from a fight, and I think we should probably figure out what these guys want. How about now?
Ah, you're all good. So you three stand outside and kind of reassess the situation. Both Aristraz and Uslega say that they enjoyed dinner immensely, and the lasagna was delicious, but they're going to go home now.
We should escort you two home. I don't think it's safe to be roaming the streets right now.
Aristraz looks at you. Don't worry. I'll take Uslega back to her tavern. I'll rent a room there. We'll stay safe. Don't you three worry. You deal with what you need to.
All right. Travel safe, friend.
He's gonna tap Aristot and like point at the sword and be like, "Eats fire."
I'm
He
just eating lasagna.
Reaches to his chin and starts pulling on the spiky scales that come off the edge. Interesting. Have you asked it what it is?
No. Good idea, though.
Don't need to know.
He says I don't need to know.
Most concerning. And he turns and begins to walk away. Let us go, Slega. Both of them walk down the pathway toward her tavern. The three of you are standing outside of your house, which just a moment ago was lit aflame by a hooded figure. Garrick, you know your meeting time with the individual that can point you toward the direction of the gang is coming up as the sun has set and you were meant to meet him at the docks. Pablo, you know that your friend, the blacksmith, has gone missing. What do you all plan to do, standing around talking amongst yourselves?
Well, with dinner being quite the show tonight, I do have one more arrangement that I have to go tend to. The man that we met at the pub or the bar, he promised to meet me at the docks, and I think he might have some information for us.
I'll be coming with you.
Stay out of sight, though. I don't think it'd be good if we all showed up as a group.
Sebastian sitting there with lasagna and an ale. I put out all these fires. I saved our house. No thank you. No nothing.
You
Sebastian,
did what you were told.
we put out the front fire together, and thank you for bringing the buckets. Are you happy now?
I finished the lasagna, threw the plate down, slammed the ale. Let's get this done.
Must All right. So all three of you are going to go together to the docks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I give, hold on. So, Sebastian, Pablo, when we get down there, keep a safe distance, but keep an eye on the situation, because if we know anything, these guys are aggressive.
Pablo's gonna grab his bear powder out of the statue.
You make your way into the entryway to the statue that just sits there. It has one hand that's closed. You know the mechanism, and you open the hand, and inside is a little cloth bag that you know the powder is in. All right, the three of you make your way down the pathway. Let me move you guys back here to the main map. I assume you guys take the direct path from your guys' house to the docks.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so perfect. So you guys make your way down the pathway to the docks. You pass the blacksmith's business, and you look past it. You had closed the door, Garrick, as you found it, as if you were never there, as you usually do. You pass by. It's still quiet. The lights are all off. You continue to move down. You pass the guard post, where you see two guards standing, watching over the streets. They nod to you as you pass by.
All these guards out, and sometimes I feel like they never do anything.
Too real. You continue down on the road, down to the gate that leads to the docks. The gate is opened. You see 4 more guards stationed there. 4 2 on each side of the gate, and then you actually see more on the walls above. You pass by under the gate and make your way down to the docks. The docks this late at night are very quiet. There's very few people walking about. You can see some people taking crates onto a couple of the ships that are docked there. You make your way to one of the dark corners of the docks by a cliffside. As the docks split, one road heading south and one road heading northeast. You go south, and against the cliffside there, you know that there's an entrance into the sewers from there. Now, this is where you agreed to meet this individual. Garrick, you're going ahead. Pablo and Sebastian, where are you guys setting up? You did agree to keep your distance. Where exactly would you like to be?
I'll be behind them slightly. Like I said, Sebastian's a pretty good blender of society, so like he could, I'd say, be about 10 feet away and he won't draw anything to him.
As he says, he's wearing this nice blue fancy dinner attire and a frilly hat.
I mean, what? Hold on. Can I roll investigation check
4.
to see what everyone else is looking like?
You can roll a perception check. You perceive everybody around you. They're dock workers and a few sailors wearing normal cloth attire.
I take my hat out and I switch my clothing.
You take your hat off, put it back on, and as you put it back on, your clothing shifts to more commoner attire.
This
which
feels
almost-
disgusting.
gonna say.
Trash. The number 8 will smell through this, though. They will know I'm classy.
Hopefully not, since it's trying to be stealthy. But you can't get rid of that smell. And Pablo, where are you going to be?
He's got the criminal contacts thing. I was thinking of using that to like find somebody to make conversation with while I wait and watch.
Yeah, so as you watch as Garrick goes over to the cliffside, you know Pablo stays a bit back, kind of hiding behind one of the buildings, peeking around to watch Garrick. You actually walk past and make your way onto the docks and begin talking to a couple of the sailors that you're familiar with.
Did you mean Sebastian?
Or yeah, Sebastian behind the building, Garrick at the cliffside, and Pablo, you make your way onto the docks.
Okay.
Some time passes. You begin drawing this conversation on and on, kind of forcing it at this point, talking to the sailors, but many charades and laughs about. You begin helping them move some of the crates onto their ship. Sebastian, you are extremely bored hiding behind the building, just standing there staring at Garrick. Garrick, you're standing beneath the cliff, in one, basically hiding in the shadows where you agreed to meet this fellow. Some time passes. The sun has set. You get to the end of your patience, and just as you do, you watch the gate going into the sewers opens, and the same man that you met in the tavern before, let me pull it up here. Comes out to greet you. Chris. Wearing the same clothing that he wore before, wearing leather attire with a hood. The hood is down right now, and you can see his long, stringy hair, a bandana wrapped around his neck, to pull over his face, a hard part in his hair, as it seems like he's balding in some spots. Yes, good you're here.
Hey,
Hopefully
as
you
we
didn't wait
arranged.
long.
What is time but a simple passing of a moment and a fleeting of a day?
Yes. We had a few things happen that we had to deal with. And, well, I'm glad you're still here. You were interested in speaking to the boss?
Yes, I've had a taste for some unruliness lately, and it seems that your boss might have the most efficient approach.
I do agree. He's a man that can make some things happen. You did come alone, correct?
Of course I did. I never break my word.
He kind of peeks around the corners and looks around. Sebastian, you're the closest one. Roll me a stealth check. You see he looks past Garrick to look around, and you dip back behind the building, breaking your eye contact with them.
While he's doing
Okay.
that, I'd like to do the same thing and just kind of take a glance behind him to see if I can't pick up on anything.
You want me to roll another stealth check?
No, you're fine. Garrick, you are a normal human, correct?
Yeah.
You look down the path in the sewer, and it's just dark. With no light. You can't see too far in.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, follow me. The pathways in the sewer can get a little windy, so stay close. I'll guide you through. You can't see, right?
No, but I brandish a torch and I say, but I got one of these.
I do recommend against that. There's a few creatures that lurk about the sewers, and if you come in with light, they're likely to notice.
Well, let's try this then. And Garrick takes a small piece of rope, like maybe 5 feet or so, and ties to his wrist one end, and then offers the other side to the other guy to tie to his wrist. A show of good faith between men.
Yes, good idea. I can see, so I'll guide you through. And he does tie it to his wrist as well.
Good.
And the two of you, Sebastian, you look back around and you watch as Garrick and this, to you unknown gentleman, walk into the sewers together. Pablo, you look back after loading the last box onto the ship, and you see this as well. What do you two do?
So with all of us being such good friends, I'm assuming, and allies, right? I just kind of with my free hand, I have it behind my back, and I'm just signaling to them that everything is okay, with thumbs up. And then within their eyesight, so they can see, I have 100 or 1,000 ball bearings. I just drop one, but very low key, to try to give them the hint.
Roll me a stealth check for that.
Jesus.
With that one, he doesn't hear this. He continues on into the sewer with you.
Cool.
The two of you did see the hand sign saying that everything is good, and you watched as Garrick dropped a ball bearing.
I follow.
I will say, Garrick, you drop the ball bearing behind you, and you know the back of your boot has a little, where the sole comes out, a little spot, and you aim for that where you drop the ball bearing so that it just gently goes to the floor.
Sure. And about every, like, I would say maybe like 5 to 10 feet, I'm just kind of feeding another one.
All right. Let me.
Yeah, having a plus 12 to the stealth isn't bad.
Let me get you up. Okay, the 2 will be fairly dark to it for a second. Wrong map. Just setting you up in the sewers. And so you follow down the straight path into the sewers with Chris. And I will move you. Right now it's just you, Garrick.
Okay.
Is there some light that does kind of shed from the outside, the moon in the sky, where you can see just a little bit into the sewer?
Gotcha.
You should be on the far left-hand
Left side.
side. Can you see?
Yep.
All right. You're still fine, correct?
Yeah, everything is good with me.
All right. Let's continue on. Just stay close to me.
How long have you been working with your boss here?
Honestly, not long. He got us together just a few months ago.
And has he taken good care of you?
Oh, yes. Though I won't talk too much about him. He is a man of privacy.
Very understandable for a man in his line of work.
So, you said you wanted him to help with making some things happen for you. What in particular were you thinking?
Well, let's say I have some leads on some potential scores that could be quite profitable.
Ooh, like what?
As your boss is a man of many secrets and privacies, I value mine as well.
You're walking with him, and you hear him stop. You stop in time not to run into him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I'm trusting you here, maybe I can ask the same of you before your meeting with him. Maybe just divulging the details before we go much further.
Sure. I'll give you some snippets of information, and I'll allow you to put it together since you seem quite intelligent. There's a shipment that gets delivered to the marketplace once every week. They move their shipment dates from Tuesdays to Thursdays. And let's say some rumors and some colleagues of mine have tipped me off to quite the valuable merchandise coming to this town square here shortly. I plan on bagging it.
Just to sweeten the offer to my boss here, what type of merchandise are we talking?
The kind that, once in possession, it'll be very hard to sell because you'll want to keep it for yourself.
I do have to ask. He still is a man of honor. Nothing involving people or anything like that, right?
All the city's wealth.
Understood. Let's continue. And as that conversation is happening, so Pablo and Sebastian, you watched as Garrick followed the gentleman into the sewers. What did the two of you guys do?
I'm gonna follow him in there.
Okay. So Sebastian, you walk around the building and make your way toward the entrance of the sewers. Pablo, you see Sebastian begin walking there as you load as you finish helping those sailors load the crates onto their ship.
I say my goodbyes, tell them they should come have dinner sometime if they're in port again, and then go away.
They go to
gonna give-
reply, but you've walked away.
Pablo is always inviting people over for dinner these days.
I kind of sit there, and there's a guard there, right?
No guard.
I just try to enter it.
You stand in front of the sewers, and Sebastian, you double check here. Check one thing. Do not have dark vision. So you look down the sewers, and there's some moonlight that shines down the direct path to where you can see a gate, and that's about it. Further than that, you can't see much past.
Am I the only one who has dark vision?
Yes.
God damn it.
I can't see Pablo. Where am I? Help me, my dear creature.
Pablo's just gonna put a giant man paw over his mouth and be like, shh.
I put my my hand on Pablo's shoulder. Lead the way.
He's gonna take out a little bit of his hempen rope, tie it to his belt, and then tie it onto him.
Kinky.
Let me grab the two of you. And I assume, Pablo, you're going to lead the way?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I
So
was
the
gonna
two
use
of
the
you-
bard as bait.
Understandably. The two of you are tied together. As you enter into the sewer, you walk through. The gate was closed behind them. You walk through, and you can hear their voices a little further down into the sewer. You hear the end of their conversation, where the man that Garrick is with says, "Yes, I'll get you that meeting with my boss here. Let's continue on." And Chris begins to walk forward.
I follow. Are any like sounds or anything like coming through the sewage that would make me feel suspicious or weird, or does everything sound kosher at the moment?
Roll me a perception check. Just kind of listening into your surroundings.
Yeah.
All you can hear is the sound of a few rats kind of chittering in the distance from you, and you can hear the sound of water moving next to you, but that's it.
Okay.
And you continue on with Chris. Pablo and Sebastian, I assume you two want to follow their voices.
Yep.
I'm being dragged by a string, so.
But I'm gonna follow, like, I'm gonna try and go as, like, quietly and stealthily as I can.
All right. You begin to follow behind where you heard them. Garrick, you hear the sound of some clanking. You kind of focus, and you see Chris's shape. He pulls something out from his pocket. You can hear the sound of keys, and he unlocks the gate in front of you and opens it up, holding it open for you.
Thank you. And I step through.
He closes the gate and locks it behind him.
Okay.
Just a bit further, and you'll see the entrance. Pablo and Sebastian, you walk through another gate, and Pablo, you can see this open area with a bridge going across a section of sewage water. You can see a couple things floating in the water. What is your passive perception?
13.
12.
Yours doesn't matter. You can't see anything. You notice a couple things floating in the water. It looks like just some debris.
There's nothing wrong with this water.
You can't see the water.
But Pablo can. All right. Where are you going, Pablo?
Can I hear which way they went?
Right now, no.
Okay. Do I see the little marbles? The bearings?
You can see. So yes, you spot a couple leading to the north side of the water, going around it.
Okay. I'm gonna follow the bearings.
You follow the bearings, dragging Sebastian along. As you notice them, you pull forward and just pull Sebastian with you as he begins walking with you.
As I hit Pablo, I'm going to give her a bardic inspiration. You're doing great, Pablo.
How
Thanks.
inspiring.
You could feel meaningfulness behind those words, Pablo. As he has literally never said that to you before.
Literally. So he said that he locked the door. I have thieves' tools. Does that mean I can attempt to pick the lock?
Can you tell me? So we will continue on with you two. Chris takes you to the end of the tunnel. He, at this point, says, I do have to open the front door. So I need to leave you here for a moment while I unlock it, but I will be right back.
And then Garrick doesn't say anything, but he just unties the rope from his wrist.
Chris steps away from you in the darkness, leaving you by yourself. You can hear water around you, just behind you. You hear the shifting of some metal and gears ahead of you, and you hear the sound of something unlocking. Chris comes back to you and grabs you by the forearm. All right, once I take you back here, there will be plenty of light for you to see.
All right. And he reties his wrist.
And he continues on with you. And put you there. Okay. Pablo, you drag Sebastian forward, coming to a gate. You go to open it like the previous ones, but this one is locked.
I would like to attempt to pick the lock.
Okay. Roll me a check with your thieves' tool, dexterity-wise.
Ooh.
You have bardic.
You do have bardic inspiration. What is the additive for bardic inspiration, Sebastian? What's your ability?
You're asking so much of me. D6.
It's
And-
D8 for you.
Oh,
You're
D8.
past level 8, so D8.
And then, do I get bonuses since I'm proficient in the tools?
Are you proficient? Should have.
Yes, I am.
Was still a nat 1, but yeah, we'll add your proficiency, so it's a 6, and then roll the D8 for the Bardic Inspiration if you would like to use it.
I feel like this is a good time to use it.
Perfect. You begin to unlock the door. Your lockpick snaps as you use it. You turn it around and jam the other part in and force it to turn, and you hear it click.
Big muscles make lock go crack.
The door opens, and the two of you walk through. You close the gate behind you. You turn around and look. You see the sewage water coming up from the drain, and you see floating in the water a body kind of bobbing in the water.
That's not good. Sebastian, there's people in the water.
Sebastian, you're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, it smells bad. Disgusting.
It is the sewer.
I bet your nose takes this a lot harder than mine. So can I see like normally now, or are we still in dark vision?
You're still in dark vision.
Okay. So I'm just like being tethered along.
Do I see any more bearings?
You walk past and you see a couple more bearings leading up to the north side.
Okay, I follow the bearings.
You follow the bearings, walking around, moving a little away from the water. So you're a little concerned with it. You make your way to the entry where the door is, and you see 3 levers, all of them facing up. And the ball bearings have ended here.
Hmm. I'm trying to think of a way to.
That you're behind Pablo. Pablo has stopped.
Since I was a spy, granted it was an enforcer, but do you think my perception and
unfamiliar
stuff
with
would
this
be
game.
no? I want to see what levers have been more used. Like, see if they're like the wood is worn.
Fair. You roll me an investigation check of the levers.
God, I'm not so smart, but at least I don't have negatives.
You look over the levers. All 3 are faced up. They're actually made of metal. They're metal cylinders with a ball at the end of them. You can see that all 3 of them have kind of been worn.
Can I roll an investigation check? Because I was a spy too.
You can't see.
Would you like to ask Pablo what Pablo's doing?
Yes.
I'm
Pablo, what's going on? I can't see.
trying to figure out these levers. They all seem to be equally worn.
Jinky, Shaggy, I can't see without my glasses.
Well, I was trying to see if I had like a torch or something, but I don't.
I do. I've got matches too. I've got a tinder box.
Would you like to light the match so that Sebastian can see as well?
I have a crowbar. Can I strength it out?
Strength what?
Door.
That's
Can
the
I
most
just-
barbarian answer I've ever heard, and I love
I
it.
mean, you can
Fuck this door.
Oh shit!
you can try. You look over the door. It's a large metal door at the end of that pathway. You look it over. Even with that investigation, you know you wouldn't be able to open it without making some noise.
You want to risk it, Sebastian?
No, I'm pretty proficient with picking locks. I don't know why we would risk something so barbaric.
There's no lock to pick. It's levers.
You could let Sebastian have a crack at it.
You want to try, buddy?
I mean, I can't see anything, but yeah, if you want to let me get at it, I'll try.
Sebastian's gonna pull his little tinder box out of his pocket and light it. So that way there's a little tinder box.
Pablo pulls his tinderbox out and lights it. As you crack the match and hold it up in front of you, I'll actually have you illuminate just a little for Sebastian.
That's my body in the water. I made very bad decisions.
That person might have. So, Pablo, you light the match, and Sebastian, you can see around. You see the three levers. The levers are spaced just a couple feet apart from each other on the wall. As you do that, you see the shadow of a man, much smaller than you, next to both of your shadows on the wall, appear between the levers. The shadow of a man begins to move around, and it points toward the first one, turns around, and then points toward the last one. And then
Dear
it
shadow, do you know the
waves
way?
to follow.
Do you know the way, dear shadow? Is this the right way?
It turns and holds a thumbs up.
I don't believe that, but
Should
It
we follow
gestures
it,
like
Sword?
grabbing toward its chest, like you heard it.
Sword, do we trust it?
I don't.
I trust no one except you.
I trust you too, buddy.
Oh, you trust me? That's so great of you, Pablo. I trust me
Sure.
too. So I'm gonna.
The
pull
shadow's
sec-
just standing there, kind of looks like it's tapping its heel.
I
Just
mean,
arms crossed, waiting. Holds its arms out and starts tapping like it's tapping on a watch.
can I cast a spell magic?
Yes.
With that response, or I'm not gonna do
You
anything.
you can cast whatever you want whenever you want. You just tell me what you do.
Yeah.
Well, I want to cast a spell magic to get rid of the shadow.
No.
You cast it. Do you cast Dispel Magic?
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, you cast Dispel Magic around you. The shadow disappears. Spend that spell slot.
I did. Good. We don't have to deal with that fellow anymore.
Pablo's gonna pull the levers in the order of the shadow.
You kind of
I immediately dodge towards the door.
you You push past Sebastian, grab the first lever, and then move and grab the last. As you do that, Sebastian runs past you toward the door. Sebastian, you make it to the door, and you're just waiting there. The door opens.
It's too good to be true.
Pablo's gonna push Sebastian through the door and blow out the
Pablo
tinderbox.
moves
I'm
through
gonna
and
roll a
shove you.
opposed athletics check.
Okay, roll the athletics, Sebastian.
You want me to roll strength against it?
I would like you to also roll athletics, yes.
I am not doing great.
My chest. Pegs.
Hang
Hit
on.
it.
You, Pablo, you go to shove Sebastian out of your way. Sebastian, you duck down onto your hands and knees. And Pablo, you just fall over Sebastian into the tunnel.
81, baby. 81.
Pablo's gonna take the tinderbox and put it to the sword so he eats the fire, so it goes dark again.
You see it just vanish. And Sebastian, you lose all sight. As that happens, you do notice down the tunnel all the way a faint blue glow, faint blue
Ah,
light.
shit.
I mean, I guess I'll stumble towards the light. Can't see anything, so I might as well go towards it.
Sebastian, you walk down the tunnel. You don't help Pablo up, and you just continue to walk past. The
still
door
tied to
shuts
me.
behind you. As you do that, you take a step too far, and the rope pulls you back, and you fall on your butt.
There's a trap there. You're welcome.
Pablo gets up and then just takes the rope and like pulls with them.
You begin pulling Sebastian down the tunnel. The three of you have now entered this bandit gang's hideout. And that is where we will end episode 2.
Oh,
Yes, a third session. Let's go.
We will hold the third session here soon, so keep an eye out. We'll post about it. But thank you all for tuning in to episode 2 of The Bandit King. Everyone, have a good night.
Team Pablo.